Thanks for tuning in to another episode of King Mighty King Media TV. And once again, I'm your host, the double OG Grew Up Boxing, Ted King. And we're going to talk about this Devin Haney situation, of course, Ryan Garcia as well. Apparently, the WBC has decided to allow Devin Haney to submit champion in recess documentations, whereas he can say, what he is in recess, turning in his resignation for a time. And at the same time, the WBC is moving forward and it's going to allow the interim champion to come in and take the title and to then go ahead and fight the number one contender. This was reported June 24th. Devin Haney vacated his super lightweight championship and will consider a champion in recess at his request. The World Boxing Council, WBC, said in a statement released Monday that its governing board unanimously approved Haney's request and declared him world champion in WBC recess. Haney had made it clear via comments on social media that he wanted to take time away from boxing and was not interested in fighting Sandor Martin. The WBC named former interim world champion Alberto Puello as the super lightweight world champion. Puello was ordered to defend the title against Martin. And so while this is taking place, there's other conversations about Devin Haney going to sue Ryan Garcia, and all these things take, and you hear these things, and apparently this is, of course, part of the narrative in terms of, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to sue. We're going to make sure you pay for. Essentially, he's coming in and being found to have PEDs in his system. And if you are know anything about law, to sue in the civil courts, because this is not, criminal court. This would be what is called preponderance of evidence. This is not called, like criminal cases would be called beyond a reasonable doubt. But the preponderance of evidence is like, it's like a scale. It's like starting at 50-50, and 50-50 says, you still hasn't made your burden of proof. But like, for example, you say 60% says he did it and 40% of the scale says he did not, then you essentially have made your case in a civil proceeding. So that's the difference, just to let you know how this thing plays itself out as far as the court's concerned. So it's going to be an uphill battle to prove that Ryan Garcia knew that he was taking PEDs. Because that hadn't been determined other than the fact that he had it in the system. And the system says, okay, you had it in your system, so that means that you have to be accountable for the fact that the PEDs was in your system. And that just goes along with the commissions, boxing commissions, and the, in this case, the New York Athletic Commission. They say, okay, it was in your system. How? You have to show how it got there to be completely exonerated. And apparently this is, so far hasn't been the case where he can completely and unequivocally say, he wasn't guilty in terms of how it got in the system. So of course they went ahead and they said, okay, we're going to slap a 1-year suspension on you because you weren't able to unequivocally, without question, be able to point to the sources where this PED Osterin entered into your system. So now, there's talk about, again, some kind of suit going on. And we know that Ryan Garcia can't be sued for giving Devin Haney what was it, 1.5 million for being 3 pounds over the weight limit? Can't get sued for that. That's a lot of money for being 3 pounds over the weight limit for 3 pounds. 3 pounds costs you 1.5 million. Now that's a novelty. I've never heard that before, but that's what apparently happened. So he paid 1.5 million for coming in 3 pounds overweight, so he can't be sued for that. And again, Devin Haney, of course, can't turn around and say, well, look, I'm suing for 3 pounds over the weight limit. Can't do that. He got paid 1.5 million, so that goes away. There has to be a cause of action, and the cause of action there is for 3 pounds coming in for 3 pounds over the limit. Devin Haney, got paid 1.5 million. So now let's talk about being sued for PEDs. Now I touched on it a moment ago. You have to prove that, he have to show by preponderance of evidence that Ryan Garcia actually intentionally put a banned substance in the system to help him win the fight. And going into this fight, I did a video that said clearly, in my opinion, that if anybody was going to get knocked out, it wouldn't be Ryan Garcia. So in my opinion, who would it have been? Play the tape. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of King Mighty King Media TV, and I'm your host, the double OG Gorilla Boxing Ted King. And today we're going to be talking about that Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia fight. Now, to me, the fight is very, very close in a lot of areas. One, experience, and two, overall talent. And both of them have overall talent. They're both very talented fighters. Again, I've always said, I think that Ryan Garcia puts together a situation where he has more, fast twitch motion than Devin Haney. And of course, most people talk about that left hook. I mean, he has a very good left hook. But of course, we know Tank Davis, southpaw. So he's used to looking at the left hook first, as opposed to an orthodox fighter who actually does not necessarily, from the peripheral vision coming from the right side of the orthodox fighter, might not necessarily see the left hook coming. As when you're in the southpaw position, of course, you're looking at that left hand at all times, So it's easier to slip a left hook from the southpaw position than it is from the orthodox position. I mean, you think it doesn't make a difference, but it does in terms of peripheral vision. Especially when you are looking at the left hand at all times from the southpaw position. So Devin Haney won't have that luxury of being able to see the left hand from the position of southpaw. He'll be in the orthodox position. So of course, if Ryan Garcia was to step to his left, he'd be able to throw that left hook without actually the orthodox fighter being able to see it, as well as if he was in the southpaw position and he stepped to his left. From the southpaw position, you duck underneath the left hand. Whether it's a jab, whether it's a left hook or uppercut, you're still going to actually be able to see it from the southpaw position better than you would be able to see it from the orthodox position. And if you don't believe me, try it. Okay, so you can't really fault Ryan Garcia for Devin Haney The first round got hit with a left hook. You can't fault Ryan Garcia because Devin Haney decided to do this. Can't fault him for that. No, you can't fault Ryan Garcia for Devin Haney first round doing this. Now, how can you sue for that? And where you gonna get the money? What? They play the tape. They'll say he did this. Listen, you didn't have to have a good left hook to be able to counter that. I mean, let's keep it real now. You know, and I'm a fan of both fighters, and I'm most definitely a fan of a fighter who goes into a professional boxing match and is getting beat up from pillar to post and stays in there for 12 rounds. That shows that boxer has heart, okay? He is, in my mind, a throwback fighter, okay? And will not give up. You know, he goes out on his shield. And pretty much if Ryan Garcia was able to take, if he was able to take Devin Haney out, he would have done so. He couldn't do it. No, he tried to do it, okay? He had 12 rounds to do it. He was beating him up, but he didn't take him out. And of course, you know, he got hurt a little bit in the fight as well because that's how professional fighting go. So, if anything, Devin Haney needs to go back to the drawing board, work on, now listen, you know, here's another thing. Now, they don't pay me for this. I don't tell people what to do and how to do it because they don't pay me for this, okay? But in my opinion, in my experience, every boxer, every fighter, every person has enough power to knock a man out in the sport of boxing, especially if you're a professional. Okay, well, let me put it this way. Let me be a little bit more specific. Every fighter that's ranked 1, 2, or 3 is ranked 1, 2, or 3 because they have enough pop in their punch to be able to knock a person out. And Devin Haney has enough pop in his punch to knock anybody out. But he is not being trained on how to actually throw the punch. You know, how to, I'm keeping it real. He doesn't know exactly how, he's not being trained on, you can throw a hard punch and hit a bag, and and you will go ahead and you will, enough force to knock a person out. If a man in the ring was a bag, but a man in the ring is not a bag. A man in the ring who's been trained to fight and get out the way is just that. A man in the ring who's been trained to fight and get out the way. So now it's so easily to hit, right? So it only takes approximately 30 pounds of pressure to knock a man out. If you're a big heavyweight, maybe 40 pounds of pressure instead of 30 pounds of pressure. And then it only takes maybe about 60 pounds to 75 pounds to hurt a man to the body. Unless you're a heavyweight, it might take a little bit more, maybe 100 pounds of pressure to the body, you know, to stop a man, okay, and knock him out. So, you know, all these things, listen, this is not new stuff. It's not new stuff. I'm just an old guy that knows about it, okay? I've been around a long time. So I know about certain pressures, how much pressure it's going to take to hurt a man. And I mean, you listen to this. You hear oftentimes many fighters say that Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't punch that hard. And he punches hard enough, of course, to knock him out. But he punches more right, okay, than hard. And that's what it takes to knock a man out, to punch him right. Okay, and so, and then when they get hit, they don't see the punch, lights out, you know. Depends on how much force he punched, you know, because he has punched pretty hard and knocked some guys out, put them to sleep. You know, Leo Santa Cruz is one of them, okay? Rolly Romero, he didn't get put to sleep, but he didn't know where he was at. Ryan Garcia did get hit and got right back up. So he's one of those very few that got hit, that got right back up. But when he got hit to the body, of course, we know what happened there too. He didn't get right back up right away. He got right back up after the 8 count was counted and was counted out on one knee. So, these are fighters, very rare fighters who know how to hit, who know how to punch right. And so, Devin Haney cannot, he's not going to win any legal act, be able to take no legal action against. Let me be clear now. Now, I'm listening to me. I'm telling you what I know. Because Ryan Garcia is going to have a good lawyer, and trust me, Devin Haney is going to have a good lawyer too, and probably being told right now it's going to be very, very difficult to win a case, a civil action against Ryan Garcia. Because you can't get him for the 3 pounds over weight limit, and so you got to get him for the PEDs if that was the case, and you really can't get him for the PEDs because you have to prove that he was knowingly, willingly took the whatever, and in the court of law it's the preponderance of evidence, of course. And then again, you have to show, hey, he was it enhanced him so much that he was able to knock him out, or not knock him out, but beat him up for 12 rounds. And you really can't win a case when a fighter does this. Okay? No, you're not gonna win the case, okay? So we might as well forget all about that, okay? Don't even worry about no lawsuits. He gonna sue. That's not gonna happen. Trust and believe, okay? Believe me, trust me, okay? Yeah, okay. Well, now look, I'm going to keep, we're going to keep on top of this thing, and I'm going to show you, you'll see that lawsuit stuff ain't happening. Okay, that's what I got for today. I'm Double OG Guru of Boxing Ted King. Until the next one, keep your hands up. And oh, by the way, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment if you like. I'd like to know what you got to say. Think about this lawsuit situation, and share with your friends and families on the channel, because this is very interesting right here, okay? You tell me if you think that the lawsuit's gonna happen. Okay, that's what I got for today. I'm gone.